Welcome to a few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos we have the privilege of reading two Sedras, Parshas Sazria and Metzora, both of which focus mainly on the disease known as tsaras, which many people confuse with the term leprosy, but it's not leprosy at all, because leprosy is a physically debilitating disease which ultimately ends in death, while tsaras can actually go away within a week or two. And you don't go to the doctor with tsaras. You go to the Kohen. As the Pasuk says, Zos tihiyeh Toras HaMetzora v'huvo el HaKohen. You bring it to the Kohen. Because the Kohen is going to pronounce whether or not this disease of tsaras is tahor, pure, or tamei. Is it a real tsaras or it's not a real tsaras? A real tsaras is tamei. If it's not a real tsaras, it's tahor. So the Kohen makes a one-word pronouncement, and that changes everything. If you're tamei, you're isolated, you're quarantined, you're sequestered, you're away from society. While if you're tar, you can be part of all that's happening in the world at large. And we have enough experience lately with quarantining, and we understand the terrible isolation that comes with it. And so we want to avoid the punishment of tsaras, which, as we said, is really a spiritual disease of sorts. Our rabbis have pointed out through the Gemara and other sources that tsaras is brought about by lashon hara, bad talk, slander about another human being, about the Jewish people in general, saying bad things about anything that has to do with Jewish life or another human being, slandering, hurting somebody, saying bad words. All that is lashon hara. The Dubno Magid says, listen to this. This man wants to know, am I allowed to remain in society or am I removed from society? And as our rabbis point out, of course, the removal from society is a measure for measure punishment because you spoke slander about someone else to remove them from society. So now you're going to be removed from society. But even more so, what decides whether or not you must be removed? What decides it is v'huvo el HaKohen. You bring it to the Kohen. And what does the Kohen do? He says one word. If he says tahor, you're great. Everything's wonderful. If he says tamei, you're isolated, quarantined, all the negative things that come along with being alone, away from anything human. And consequently, it's just one word, says the Dubno Magid. You who spoke lashon hara were under the impression that perhaps my words are just words. Words don't have any value. They don't do anything. They don't mean anything. Oh, really? Take your tsaras to the Kohen. One word. Tahor, or God forbid, tamei. It's one word. And that one word makes all the difference. And so too, when a human being speaks, it makes all the difference, one word. When God created Adam, it says that he blew into his nostril the spirit of life, Ruach Chaim. And as the Targum translates it, Ruach Memalala, the ability to say words. Human beings can communicate with speech. Speech makes us human. And consequently, we're being taught that one word makes the difference between life and death. And now, as our Chazal say, Hachayim v'hamaves biyad halashon. Life and death is in the hands of speech. It makes all the difference in the world. And consequently, when someone transgresses the laws of lashon hara and thinks that speech has no value, he has to go to the Kohen, and just one word is going to make a tremendous difference in the rest of his life. Or perhaps only for a short time to rehabilitate him. But it's going to make a difference. Because life and death are in the hands of speech. So how much more must we be careful to use our gift of speech to say positive things, compliment people, say good about others, because You bring life when you do that. When you say good things, when you learn Torah, when you share Torah, when you share good thoughts, you bring life. And God forbid if you say bad things, that's tamei. And so Parshas Sazria and Metzora give us the concept of the value of speech and the gift of being able to speak to God through tefillah, through Torah, and through interaction between man and his fellow man. Two very powerful Parshios this Shabbos. I want to wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat Shalom Umevarach.